Good afternoon, boys and girls. It is Wednesday, FOMC decision day. It will be interesting, it will be volatile, and we will have a look at the market, pre-market. It will be interesting today. So let's look at it right now. We have in 15 minutes ADP non-farm employment change, and 15 minutes after the market is open, service PMI. ISM non-manufacturing PMI half an hour after the market is open, and at 8 p.m. my time or 2 p.m. Eastern time we will have FOMC statement, so the interest rate decision, and half an hour later, 8:30 my time or 2:30 a.m. Eastern, FOMC press conference with Jerome Powell answering journalist questions. So yeah, we will see what the interest rate decision will be. For now, the expectation of the market is still sitting at 25 basis points with an 88% probability. For the next meetings, we will probably sit there. But the interesting thing is now we see that the market participants are expecting lower interest rates at the end of the year. So we had 4.75% expectancy yesterday, and now we have 4.5%. So it went to lower levels, and you see beginning in September, we already see the first step downwards here, back to 5%. So let's see what Jerome Powell is telling us. So the 25 basis points are almost set, but the more interesting thing is the next meetings and what he will tell us about the end of the year and the next Federal Reserve meetings this year, 2023. So yeah, let's see the news today. Of course, it will be important for this week. It's a new month. It's May, and therefore first Friday of a month we will see this week again, like every first Friday of a month, non-farm payrolls. So we will again have a lot of volatility 1 hour before the market opens on Friday, and before we see non-farm payrolls, usually we see on a Wednesday ADP non-farm employment change. So this is the first outlook on non-farm payrolls on Friday, and therefore this can give us a small projection on the job market for Friday and expectancies for Friday. So the probability, the forecast is 148k, and the previous numbers was 145k. So it's higher than the previous number, and I don't believe that we will really be higher than the previous number. Of course, I can always be wrong, but I think that we will see lower than expected numbers. So let's see. Normally we should see a cool down of the job market and the labor market, and therefore we should see lower numbers here, which should again be a sign of the incoming recession here. Yes, service PMI is a little bit higher than expected here, than the higher than the previous number, but probably we will also see a lower than expected number here if there are more signs of a recession here. So Nasdaq could tank more like it did yesterday. There were some troubles in the banking sector, especially with regional banks, and therefore Nasdaq dropped yesterday back to the 20 EMA level and then could find a small hold, went back above 9 EMA, closed there. But you see we went back from the previous high points, were rejected. We are still within these two areas here, within the area between the high point and the low point. But yeah, it will be interesting. So the Federal Reserve decision today will probably give us the last trigger to break out on the upside or on the lower side. I am still expecting the breakout to the lower side, maybe not today, but within the next week. But for today, I'm expecting to go back to 13,000 or below, depending on what Jerome Powell is saying. I still believe that he is pretty hawkish and not dovish, and therefore I believe that we will see lower prices. But yeah, let's see. The market is expecting some more dovishness and seeing lower interest rate levels at the end of this year. I don't believe that Jerome Powell is giving the market what it wants right now. Let's see crude oil. Crude oil is really interesting. We were talking about it yesterday at the level of $73. And I said, yeah, we have room back to $71 here. And we closed right there. And I said, okay, perfect. Nice level. I didn't enter any trade, but today I opened the charts again. And I saw, wow, minus 3% again. And we almost hit the lower band here. the 76.4% Fibonacci retracement. So it's pretty weak for crude oil right now because of bad economic numbers from China and a cool down of economy there. And yeah, you know, if China is already cooling down, then probably US economy will cool down as well pretty soon. So this is a first sign as well of the incoming recession here. But yeah, it's a downtrend, of course, but I like the high implied volatility here for crude oil. So if I go to the options implied volatility, I haven't it open anymore. So I will bring it up again. Just wait a second here. Then I can bring it up again for crude oil, and I can show you the change of implied volatility here, which is pretty interesting. Because of the big drop we had, we now have higher fears of lower levels, and therefore let's see the change here. So now you see this is the implied volatility on April 28th. It was sitting at lows here of 33%, and it went to highs of 51% for May 5th expiration, so end of this week, and for the expirations next week and the week after we still see higher levels here. So you could get nice premiums if you would sell a put, for example, and you can go as low as $53 for a delta 10 put, and you would still earn nice premium. Therefore I'm looking for this put right into the FOMC statement. Maybe we will hit this 69 or just get below, and then I will try to sell a 53 or lower strike put for 70, maybe 75 cents premium, which is a nice level. And yeah, I believe that we have room to go back to the $73-74 area here, which should act as a resistance and then again be triggered from this downtrend here. Yeah, of course we can retest the previous lows. It's a trend. It's a trade against the trend, but it's a nice trade. I can make 30 or 40% within a short amount of time, and therefore I like to trade crude oil as short put with an options trade here. So let's see, our natural gas is interesting as well. So we are hitting the low points right now from June future. It made lows here on April 14th at $2.14, and we had lows today of $2.15. So almost hit the lows. Previous low point was just sitting below $2, which was in the May contract. But we are looking here at June now because May already has expired. Yeah, we can still go back to the $2 area or even lower at 180 or 150. But I'm waiting for a clear bottom to be found, and then I will re-enter new long trades here in natural gas. It's interesting, but you see these weird reactions like here on April 28th. We had a big movement to the upside, almost 9%, and then the next 3 days we were selling to lower levels. So this is why natural gas is called the widowmaker, because it's really difficult to catch these movements and to be out early enough for not sitting in a losing position. Then Euro US dollar is interesting as well. So the euro is getting stronger right now because of fears of a recession, but normally into the fear in a recession, the US dollar will be getting stronger, and therefore I'm looking for this level again for a third or maybe fourth time to be hit, and then to short Euro US dollar. So this was the first time, second time, third time. Maybe we will see it a fourth time. Maybe it will break. But I believe if we will go into a recession in the US, then the US dollar will be getting stronger, as long as Jerome Powell is not being super dovish today and telling us about the next steps to the downside for the interest rates. I believe that the US dollar will be getting stronger, especially because I think that Jerome Powell will be hawkish, and therefore the US dollar should be getting stronger right away. And therefore I'm looking for short entries right here at the 110.70s. And yeah, let's just see if I can get an entry today here. Wix, also interesting. We had the high point yesterday of 19.8, and look at this. So from the low, from the closing of the day before yesterday to the high point, it was a 23% move of Wix. So we haven't seen this for quite a long time. It's pretty interesting what Wix did here. But we're coming from a really low level of 15.5. So still below 20, but of course we can see more movements if the fear is coming back into the market after the FOMC meeting. Normally the fear should go out after the meeting, but of course some new fear can come up if Jerome Powell is talking or just being asked about a recession and what he believes is is the future for the US economy. So it will be really interesting today, and I'm still in a long VIX position because I believe the fear will come back into the market when the stock markets will drop within the next 3 or 4 weeks. Sugar, I closed my short call position. I had a 30 strike short call in futures. I closed it with 55% profits. So it was a nice amount, but I had 9 short calls here. So it was a pretty good position here. And I collected about I think it was 2,800 in profits. And yeah, so out of this position already. And just want to have some new cash for new free margin for new trades like crude oil and others with the euro US dollar and other trades I can enter during the FOMC session today, and therefore close this trade with a decent profit. Let's see some stocks. Tesla. So Tesla is still going sideways here. I'm still in my 145 strike long puts. Still some time until the June expiration, just waiting for lower levels and the closing of this gap here. More interesting is Nvidia with, where is the chart? Where's my Nvidia chart here? Too many open charts. No, here. At the top. So we had a high point yesterday of $290.59 right at the top range here, and then we went the day before yesterday, and then yesterday we closed lower. So it was perfect because I entered long puts here right at the top. So I already had long puts because the previous time we hit 280 I opened these puts, but it was 40% in the profit, but I missed to close, and then we went back to the high point and made new highs here at 290. But this is a nice point because on a weekly time frame you will see it a little bit better. This was a previous high point, so I believe that we will be rejected from here. My main target is 220, and maybe we'll even go to 200. So I have a 235 strike long put here. Implied volatility is rising at the moment, so this is in my favor. Of course, time is not in my favor, but I can profit from lower levels here if Nvidia is coming back a little bit together with Nasdaq. So let's go to Nasdaq because in 2 minutes we will have the news. The next interesting levels here for Nasdaq, for sure the 20 EMA and the 50% Fibonacci sitting at 13,076 points. The upper boundaries here at the 13,367 will be important for tonight or for the afternoon for all the Americans for FOMC session. But yeah, especially the psychological 13,000 level. Here we have the 61% Fibonacci level at 13,010 points. So yeah, this level will be important here, 13,000. And as soon as we close below, there will be more sell-off probably. And then if we go below the previous low point here from April 25th, there is more room for sell-offs here. And this is my favorite direction here. Of course, we can also go to higher levels, but it will be more difficult to go to higher levels because Jerome Powell has to be really dovish. And if he's dovish, everyone is asking, why is he dovish? Because inflation is still high. So is he dovish because there's a banking crisis? Oh, there's more fear to come. And therefore, it's difficult. Whatever Jerome Powell is saying, he can just say the wrong way, and it can be misinterpreted, and therefore the market will drop, in my opinion. So yeah, it's always difficult for someone like him in his job. And yeah, we will see what will happen. But yeah, there's a lot of volatility for sure. Maybe we'll retest the highs and then see the drop, or go to 13,000 and then see a rise again. Everything is possible today, and this is one of the most hedged events ever. Because a lot of traders don't want to have this volatility, and therefore they hedge. So they try to be safe in a safe place, and they are rather like to pay for being safe than to have this volatility in their portfolio. Yeah, let's see the news now. So the effect of the news. We had ADP non-farm employment change. Wow, 296k, crazy. This is a lot. How did this come? 296k. Okay. But market is dropping. Just doesn't care about the good numbers. But maybe the market is in fear because of still too strong labor market and therefore high inflation risk and therefore risk of higher interest rates. No big change here, 85%. It's turning right now. So we are still at this point where the news are always taken ambivalent, because it's a first sign of a recession if the numbers are too low, and if the numbers are too good, then yeah, it will bring more pressure here on the market with higher interest rates if the inflation is too high, because higher than expected labor market or numbers from the labor market mean more wages, higher income, and therefore more spending. And yeah, this is an inflation risk for sure. So maybe we'll retest the 13,300 before the FOMC meeting. So this will be a nice level to enter for me again. So I entered the previous time at what was it, 13,349 points, almost catch the high point. 13,367 points was the high point pre-market at 8 a.m. my time. And here there was a second chance, 13,363. Like always, you often get a second chance here. So this was a nice double top, and I entered here 13,349 points. And yeah, then the next day, yesterday, we had this big drop here. So I closed half of the position a little bit early here, right below the 13,150, where this Fibonacci retracement was sitting. We went a little bit lower, but then had the rejection to the upside. But were rejected by VWAP here. As you can see, the purple line is VWAP and the 9 EMA. So yeah, let's see if today we will retest the 13,300 level, or if there's not enough force from the bulls. Next Fibonacci testing right now. This was one high point from yesterday. Switching to a 5-minute time frame here, just to get a better picture, but it's still pre-market. We have more than 1 hour before the market opens. And one interesting news, First Republic will resume trading today, but with a new ticker symbol. It will be FRCB, and it will trade on pink sheets now. So probably it will start as a penny stock below $1. Let's see if there can be a short squeeze and if we can see higher levels, maybe back to the 2 or 250 area. Maybe not today, but maybe tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. But FRCB is the new ticker symbol for First Republic. And yeah, it will be interesting to see how high the implied volatility of the options will be. But this time it's better than with Silicon Valley Bank. There we had almost 3 or 4 weeks with no trading. So I will show you Silicon Valley Bank. So Silicon Valley Bank started on pink sheets on March 28th. And you see here it started as penny stock about 70 cents, went to low points. So I don't know if this was really hit. 1 cent is the low point here. I don't know if this was really traded. So we had low points here half an hour after the market started at about 20 cents, and it went higher, went lower again, retested the lows. And then the next trading day, you see here, it went from 20 cents low to a high point here of $1.30. And then the next day, $1.45 was the high point. So if you enter at these low points, you can make several 100%. So 400, 500% is just nothing, because we often see these dead cat bounce. This is called a dead cat bounce. Because if you throw a cat out of the window, yes, I know it's a really bad picture, but if you throw a cat out of the window, and even if it comes on the ground dead, but you will still see a bounce from the bottom, and this is what is called a dead cat bounce here, because for sure this stock is worthless. Silicon Valley is worthless, so it's worth $0, but it is still traded for several cents, and here it was traded for some dollars. So yeah, let's see how it will end, but at the moment it is traded at, what was the closing yesterday, 48 cents. So still some buyers here, and so if you catch some of these low points at the 20 cents or maybe 15, 10 cents, you don't know. I don't know if this was really traded here. The 1 cent could be a false tick. But if you can catch these low points, you can make some decent profits here if you just take it as a risky trade and just some play money. But I will try this with FRCB just to grab some of these cheap stocks here and then sell it in the next 1 or 2 trading days. Okay, let's see ES Future. Where is the chart? So S&P 500 is a little bit green, 0.3% today. Was rejected from the Fibonacci retracement yesterday, but the parabolic is still in a short trend here on a daily time frame. A little bit different from Nasdaq, because here we see on a daily time frame it already changed back into an uptrend, but that's nothing special because we are in this sideways phase like here right now. Therefore it can change pretty quick again if we retest the previous lows. But yeah, ES Future is still in the downtrend, trading below 9 EMA and near the 20 EMA level. So probably we'll see a retest in the next trading days of the previous low points, 4,068 points. S&P is a little bit weaker because there are more banking stocks from the banking sector, because there are 500 stocks in this index and more banking stocks like small and regional banks, which dropped a lot yesterday, and therefore it pulled down ES Future as well. But you see we went back and closed right above the 20 EMA. So bulls are still there, they are still strong, and they are waiting for FOMC decision. So we see a crossing here. This is the ADX crossing, indicating a bearish sign here as well as the ADX. So more signs for the bears. Let's see what the FOMC decision can bring us. But then if we go below the previous low points, next target 4,025 points. This is the 200 SMA, and the 50% Fibonacci level is also sitting there. So yeah, psychological 4,000 points sitting there. So this is an interesting support area between 4,000 4,025 points for ES Future. But until there we have a lot of room. Yeah, 3% potential to the downside for ES Future. And yeah, gold prices went higher a little bit, $2,020. So yesterday we had this big drop in the stock market, therefore gold went higher, especially because we saw the shift in the interest rate expectations to lower levels, and therefore gold prices went to higher levels. But if Jerome Powell is speaking hawkish today, then for sure we'll drop below the 2000 level again, because the gold traders don't like high interest rate levels. Yeah, but it's still in the sideways trading phase, so no decision is made right now for gold. What am I looking at for the commodity futures? So we already talked about sugar. I went out of my short call. It's still in an uptrend, just a smaller pullback here. It's still on my watch list, but I'm not trading it right now. But yeah, as soon as I see more potential to the downside, I want to take on some short trades here in sugar future as well. The same for orange juice. Orange juice was interesting yesterday because we tried to retest previous lows here, but then closed above 265 cents again. So still in the sideways trading range, no decision made right now, but it will for sure be interesting someday in the future. Still on my watch list here. And yeah, we have already talked about crude oil and natural gas. What else do we have? Ah, yes, this one. This is really interesting because we had a short report for this stock here. This is Icahn Enterprises from Carl Icahn. Maybe you know this guy. He is pretty famous because he forced eBay to spin off PayPal. So eBay owned PayPal, and then he said he is an activist investor. He bought a lot of eBay shares back then, and then he said, I want that eBay spins off PayPal because PayPal can have higher growth without being a part of eBay. And yes, he was right. And then the management had to do what he wanted. And now there's a short report from Hindenburg Research and claiming that he had some issues with his balance sheet and so on. Yeah, probably there's something. Yeah, there will, but every company is having these things on their balance sheet. Everyone can do a little faulty, shiny things, and yeah. Whatever you see the implied volatility here, 80% implied volatility. The last time we had this level was during COVID crisis in 2020, and the last time we were at these low levels was in March 2020. So I believe that the stock is still cheap because I don't think that Icahn Enterprises is the next wirecard, which went to zero after Hindenburg Research came out with the short report. Therefore, I would sell a short put, a 35 strike put or 30 strike put, and you can earn nice premiums up to 80-90 cents for just 2 weeks of trading. And if the implied volatility is coming to lower levels, you can earn this money pretty fast, and therefore I'm looking to sell some short puts here for a 35 or 30 strike put, depending on which delta I can get here, for just 2 trading weeks expiring in May. Let's see if I can enter a position. It's not the most liquid options here on Icahn Enterprises, but it's just pretty interesting, I believe, to trade these here and yeah, profit from the high implied volatility here. Okay, I think we have gone through all major indexes and stocks which I have on my watch list right now. Yeah, wheat. So I'm still in my wheat position here with a 700 strike long call and a 585 short put, risk reversal. But yeah, there's no sign that wheat prices want to stop here and find a bottom right now. We are near the 600 level now, 600 cents. But yeah, we don't know if the prices will stop here. So if we go to lower levels and close below, I will close out my short puts for not risking to be in the money. And the 700 calls, I will keep them. Maybe in the next 2 weeks we will see higher levels when the Russians will have to talk again about the export from the Ukrainian havens through the Black Sea. But yeah, it will take time, 1 or 2 more weeks, and therefore we can still see lower levels. Therefore I don't want to be at risk with my short puts here. I will lose about 80 to 90% with the short puts, but it's a small position. It will just be 1 or 2k, so no big deal here. But yeah, it can still be pretty quick turnaround here if the Russians don't want the Ukrainians to export their wheat from the Ukrainian havens, and therefore still staying in this position even if the trend is not in my favor right now. Okay, that's it for now. So this evening, unfortunately, I will not be able to live stream. I forgot yesterday that I will be in a German live stream this evening answering some questions. It's a Q&A. And yeah, if you are German and watching me as a German viewer, of course you are invited to join me and ask some questions. It's not on this channel, it's on another channel, on BVH channel. But yeah, you can watch it, it's free and it will be in German. But if you are English, then unfortunately you won't understand anything. But I will try to keep it short and then be able to trade again during the press conference at 8:30 p.m. my time or 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. So no live stream today, but I wish you the best for your own trading, and like always, make your own decisions and your own due diligence, and we will see us next time for the next live stream. If you haven't done so far, then please subscribe to my channel and of course give me a thumbs up for this live stream. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.